Hello, everyone. Bleeding Blue podcast episode. What is it? 21 we got today. Yeah, man. All
Mm.
right. Well, we have a special guest here with us today. Our second very own guest, Nolan Purdy, aka just Purdy. We just call him Purdy here on this podcast. And welcome, brother. How is it going? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of the podcast and looking forward to it.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no. So we are going to be doing some playoff predictions for the Leafs, and not the Leafs, just the Leafs, but we're going to do some playoff predictions for all the teams in the NHL or for the 16 teams that'll be in the playoffs. So, I mean, it'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. We'll talk about
yeah.
the Conn Smythe predictions, and then we'll do a little dark horse, and then we'll do what else will we do, Brian? We're going to be doing.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about our dark horse team that we think might go far in the playoffs, who were a lower seed, who are lower seed this year, kind of like how Florida made it to the final last year when they were just barely made it in. We also have a disappointing team. I don't know another way to word it, but basically a team that has a higher seed that you think won't go that far, that are
They're just going to
projected to,
suck. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then we have our we're going to predict each series that are slated so far, that are prepared, we're ready to go for the weekend. And then we have our Stanley Cup final matchup prediction, early prediction, and who you think is going to win the cup this year, and the Conn Smythe Trophy, the MVP of the playoffs.
Boom.
That's what we got going. But
Love
first,
it.
before we get to the playoff predictions, we're going to talk about the last two Leaf games, which were not
They
very good.
sucked. They were terrible. They were
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. And Purdy, I want to get your perspective on this. Matthews not getting 70. What do you think, man? Do you think he was
I,
going to happen, or what did you think?
I absolutely thought it was happening from the get go. Once he hit about 65 or 66, I was just thinking, all right, it's coming. From a Bruins fan perspective,
Oh,
as
shit.
much
Yeah.
as he hate to go against the guy, like I absolutely thought he was hitting 70. Absolutely. I thought with what was it, 2 games left after he hit 69?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
I for sure thought that he was going to get 70. And when they went up, when they started putting goals in late against the Lightning last night, I thought for sure he was going to be one of the goal scorers.
I
Yeah,
was
but
very
unfortunately
no,
not.
go right,
Yeah.
go right.
No. I was just gonna say, unfortunately not. It was they decided to put on Holmberg and TJ Brody with the goal, Reeves with the goal, and Tavares with the goal. Two, I would say, like Reeves and Brody, and even Holmberg. How the hell are those guys scoring goals in the last game? And Matthews is still not able to get number 70. It was sad, man. It was definitely sad. It's hard to watch for sure. That was a fucking shitty game, just
Yeah.
horrible game. But yeah,
No,
what
the
were you gonna say?
problem is like with 3 minutes left, Keith kept putting on the fourth line.
Yeah,
Like I'm like,
exactly.
Matthews is one goal away from hitting this milestone, and you don't even put him on for like the last 3 minutes. They put him on and they pulled the goalie, obviously, but like you're putting on the fourth line ahead of even the Nylander and who's Nylander playing with? Nyes and Tavares to say they didn't put them on
Yeah,
before they pulled the goalie. So I was kind of disappointed in Keith with that. But he had like 12 shots or 13 shots yesterday, like something ridiculous, and he just nothing could have gone for him. He hit like 5 posts in the last 3 games or something, absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, 69 goals is still a great achievement, no
yeah.
matter how you put
I,
it. So
No, it is.
I,
It's pretty incredible.
I thought he was for sure going to get it there when he walked 3 guys and then hit the crossbar the other night. I
oh
thought,
my god,
could you imagine if that was his 70th goal? Walk 3 guys and put it bar down.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that
couldn't bury it.
that would have been
exactly.
his Hall of Fame highlight, dude. Like when you get into the Hall of Fame, that's the main video they're gonna put it up for you. But yeah, it's just a tough last 2 games for the boys there. But we'd already confirmed that they're gonna be third in the division. We just didn't know who we were gonna come up against, and now we do know. I think it was fate that we were gonna get Purdy, because Purdy, he's a big hockey fan in general. He's played hockey for a long time. Me and him, we always discuss sports, and not just hockey but others as well. And big Bruins guy, he always likes to tease me about how the Leafs always get dominated by them, and it's good fun and all,
Yeah,
but like I feel like it was perfect that he came on for this podcast because the Bruins are playing the Leafs, as everyone knows. So I think it was perfect that we got Purdy on for this one. So I'm very excited to have a guest on for this.
for sure. No, I was gonna say my thing with the Leafs sucking in like the last like 3, 4 games is the fact that I think they're getting all their losses out of the way for ahead of the playoffs. They're just getting a bunch of all the L's, playing like shit right now, and then they'll be ready for the playoffs. That's what some teams do, man. Like I just think of like to go across to another sport like baseball, the Diamondbacks, they fucking got swept in like their last 2 series, basically. They were horrible. Same with
Mm-hmm.
the Phillies. They end up making the World Series. So you know what? Who knows? This could be it for the Leafs. But I just sound like a fucking stupid Leafs fan anyway, saying like this is the year. So uh we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, and we'll get into that in a second. But I mean, any more to talk about with this game? You got Tavares with the goal, Noah Gregor with the goal, and against the Panthers. Again, just 2 really shitty games. Just like you can't really chalk it up any better than that, I would say. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, like Samsonov didn't even play those last 2 games. I guess they want him to rest just to make sure because they probably guarantee that he's going to be the game one starter.
Yeah.
And they just put Wall and Martin Jones in for the last 2, which is respectable. But the fact that you gave up a 2-0 lead after the first period, you have 4 goals in the second period. It's just fucking ridiculous. Like it's really disheartening, especially against a team like Florida who potentially could have been their matchup in the playoffs. Just doesn't sit well
Yeah.
heading in.
Yeah, I was just going into playoffs. If you look at the Leafs' past few games, it's scary to see that they've let in 22 in the last 4 games, which
Yeah.
and I'm sure you kind of sit and look at that and you think, is it gonna turn around for playoffs? I mean, the goals are coming. I think you got 15 in the last 4 games, but it's just
Right.
great goaltending wins championships. So if Samsonov and Wall can turn that around, you could have yourself a great playoff push because your top guys are scoring your goals. You got second or third liners scoring goals, and even fourth liners are scoring goals. Right? You got the goaltending is not where it needs to be, and that is also partially due to the defense on the Leafs as well.
Yeah.
But like there was, I believe it was when they played New Jersey, they lost 6-5, and Samsonov only saw 20 shots.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
No,
that
that was
was
a
that.
horrible game.
We didn't discuss that because we didn't make a podcast early in the week because we probably would have. But yeah, I remember watching that game and Samsonov. I feel like that was his like, you know,
This is
like
worst game in a
just
while. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like just throw it, just flush it down the toilet. He's been 18-3 since they came up. Like since they put him on waivers and they brought him down to the AHL or whatever, and he's been a fucking stud ever since. So I'll let him off on that one because he hasn't had too many of those games since the beginning of the year. So I just let him off for that one. But yeah, that was a tough watch on
Yeah.
Tuesday
And
or
it was
Thursday.
the reason we lost that game was because of Samsonov. Like you can't blame it any other way. Like he was the reason letting, goals in, 5 hole like crazy and like not just like uncompetitive in net. So yeah, like you said, flush it down the drain, flush it down the toilet, and hopefully you'll be good in the playoffs. But I mean, should that bring us into our playoff prediction right now, or do we want to start talking about our dark horses and our disappointments right
Yeah,
now?
let's start off with the dark horses and disappointers. Disappointers. So I think I'll start it off with the dark horse team. I think a team that's not getting appreciated enough is the Nashville Predators. I think no one has given them a chance. I think, or no one's even talking about them, anyways. Like I feel like it's all about Vegas and like their shenanigans with fucking Mark Stone on the long term IR
Yeah.
and bringing him back for game one. And Nashville, like they just been solidly consistent the past couple months with Saros has been playing great. Philip Forsberg has been quietly good. Obviously you have what's his name on defense, Roman Yossi, who has been a stud for the past 3-4 years for Nashville. They play Vancouver in the first round. I think this is their chance to keep move on, because they're coming up against a team like Vancouver who have little to no experience in the playoffs, other than that COVID year where they beat one in the first round and they played Vegas in the second. I don't really count that year, and that was 4 years ago. Exactly, right? So I think, especially matching up with the Canucks instead of the Stars, who have experience in the playoffs multiple years, making to the Western Conference Finals last year and just being consistently good. I think it's a big advantage for Nashville to come up against Vancouver, who's not really experienced enough. I think that's where Nashville will thrive.
Okay, cool. I'll go next, and I'll say, you know what? A team that did surprisingly well and a little bit better was the Edmonton Oilers. I think the Oilers are going to do better than they did last year. They're going to, make that next step and maybe make the finals and maybe do well in the Western Conference. Go deep. And I think the reason is because you got Draisaitl, Hyman. He's been good again. Maybe a little bit overrated. But and then you got McDavid, who is ridiculously insane. And I think he was awesome this season, but you saw Draisaitl last year in the playoffs was absolutely ridiculous. Led the entire playoffs last year in goals. I think Draisaitl will be good, and you can use those guys to back you up. Their defense hasn't been horrible. It's like the Leafs defense. They're a very, very top-heavy team, but I think I could see them making a deep run because there's some clutch players on their teams, and I think those main guys are going to show up. Sort of like with the way Crosby shows up when he's in the playoffs, McDavid's going to show up and carry the team because I think he can. Who's saying no? So I'd say the Oilers.
Yeah, Ryan, I absolutely agree with you. That's definitely who I have for my dark horse team. I think that the issue in previous years has been Edmonton's always been overlooked because they have good players, but they tend to lack on the defensive and goaltending side of things. Yeah. And people kind of overlook them for that. And I think that even with the way this season's gone, you're starting to see not only is McDavid putting up highlight reel goals and scoring lots of goals, but he's moving the puck. He's getting the puck to guys like Hyman, Draisaitl, and they're just really producing right now. They're all having great seasons. And I absolutely think that'll carry over into playoffs. I think that who are they supposed to play?
It's looking like Vegas.
Who is it predicted?
Yeah, so it's
then
return.
I want
Yeah,
I'd like to see that even more then, because not only would I like to see the Oilers make a push this year, but I'd like to see Vegas get bit in the ass for the fact that they did all that BS LTIR, and now they're bringing all their guys back, and they're going to have a powerhouse team. But I absolutely think if the Oilers can stick to the game and stick to the way that they've been playing recently, I think they could be definitely a threat in the playoffs.
Yeah, and didn't the Oilers lose to Vegas? And what was it? Was it the Western Conference Finals or the?
It was the semifinal last year. They lost in 6. Yeah.
So yeah, well, that'll be interesting to see a little reunion. Hopefully, and I'm sure Vegas is Oilers are gonna be out for vengeance. They're gonna want to, come back and kill them this year. But yeah, I think all right, Purdy, you want to start it off with the disappointments? What are you thinking for that?
Absolutely. So I'm sure you guys have heard this once or twice, but I think that the Leafs are absolutely and you got to hear every single year. I'm surrounded by Leafs fans all year round, at school, at home, at work, all that kind of stuff. I absolutely think that everyone's perspective of the Leafs right now is, okay, Matthews has just scored 69 this year. We're going to go into the playoffs. We're going to have a great year. I think the Leafs are going to disappoint. I think that the Bruins are going to come out stronger than the Leafs. And at the end of the day, the Bruins goaltending is maybe not a lot better, but definitely stronger than the Leafs goaltending. And I think that's going to win the Bruins the series, because Bruins aren't a huge scoring team, but Swayman and Allmark absolutely locked down at the back. And I think I've heard the term probably for the 90th time in the past week. I've heard the term, this is our year. And you hear that every year, and I believe that the Leafs are going to disappoint again. That's my disappointing team for sure.
All right, cool. For mine, I was gonna say Vancouver. I think will be a
Yeah.
disappointment. And Ryan, you spoke on this earlier. It
Hmm.
was because this core has not been in the playoffs a lot, or they have not been other than the COVID year, as you said. But this
Hmm.
core with Quinn Hughes and JT Miller, all those guys, Brock Besser and who's the fuck? Why am I
Patterson.
forgetting? Yeah, Pedersen.
Patterson.
Yeah, is they haven't gotten a chance to be in the playoffs and for a couple of years now. So what I think is they also weren't that good in the last little bit of the season. They weren't as dominant as they were in like the first half when they were like scoring ridiculous amounts of goals. They were just like putting up video game numbers. And their team was just, outscoring, other your opponents like by like 5 goals, whatever it was. They slowed down like crazy. I think that's going to carry on into the playoffs. And who's
Mhm.
their opponent again? Who is it?
They got the Predators.
Predators?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I just think Predators are a more mature team. And, that's kind of
Hmm.
hinting at what we'll be talking in a second about the playoff predictions. But yeah, I think they'll be because everyone's like high on, they're kind of, I don't know, would you say they're like one of the teams of the year because they came out of
Yeah.
nowhere and nobody really saw them as, being this big team. So yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you'll definitely disagree with me with this one, but my disappointing team is the Edmonton Oilers. I think once again they've you know they're the McDavid with 100 assists this year, the fourth player to do it. Obviously, Kucherov did it last night, but the fact that Hyman's scoring 50 goals this year, over 50 goals, was it 55, 56? Draisaitl has been a little bit quiet, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's always dominant, right? He had like 15 goals in 14 games last year in the playoffs, something stupid like that. But when it comes to defense and goaltending, Edmonton just shuts down. Like they're horrible in the playoffs when it comes to keeping the puck out of the net, and they come up. It's looking like they're coming up against Vegas, who are the defending champs. Very strong defensive team, great goaltending, great forwards, great depth, and I think when they come up against them, they're just going to shut down like last year. Like I know McDavid and Hyman and Draisaitl, all those guys on the top end, Nugent Hopkins, great players, but they're just not going to handle the grit and the determination that Vegas has. And then I think this is the year that McDavid's going to leave Edmonton eventually after this first round performance that the Oilers are going to put up. So yeah,
Damn.
I got Edmonton, kind of the opposite of what you guys are saying about them being the dark horse. So yeah, Oilers are not going to play well this year in the playoffs.
All right. That sounds good. All right. So I guess let's move on to our predictions for the playoffs. How does
Hmm.
that sound? And
Yeah,
what did you want to start it off with? I can start it off. Caps Rangers. Is that what we're saying?
sure, let's do it.
All right. All right. Easy money Rangers. No question about it. They were a fucking powerhouse this year. They were the equivalent of the Yankees of the AL East, man. They are
Yeah.
fucking just annoying as fuck. Really, really good. Incredible defense. They have the biggest defensive team core I have seen in a while. They're huge. They've got great, great goal scorers on their team that are almost very underrated, in my opinion, even though they are New York. But I think Rangers,
Hmm.
Caps, they're okay. They got an old fucking team, man, uh
Hmm.
in Ovechkin and who else? TJ Oshie's not even playing, is he? Like,
I don't even know.
yeah, man. So it's like it's rough. It's rough there. I don't think the Caps will be. I think it's kind of luck, they barely made it in anyway into the playoffs. I don't see them doing. I don't see anything happening with them.
I didn't think the Caps were the most deserving of teams to get that final seed. I think there were a couple good contenders, but I just don't think the Caps are going to be a powerhouse of a team. I don't think they're built to play in the playoffs like they were a couple years ago. I
No.
think one thing they do have going for them though is that the four times they met this year, I think it went two apiece. So Rangers
Okay.
won twice. So you never know. Caps could be that team that handles the Rangers, but I think with the way the Rangers season went this year and the fact that their top guys absolutely put on a performance, I think that it's got to be the Rangers for sure.
Yeah. Fuck the Capitals. They got in on some bullshit. Regulation wins is the tiebreaker apparently for if you tie in points, which is completely stupid. The Detroit Red Wings 100% deserve that final playoff spot. The last 3 or 4 games, they've been grinding to get there. They've been scoring last minute goals just to get to overtime to get an extra point. Like Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, Moritz Seider, all these young guys who are vying for an opportunity to try and get into the playoffs. I think if Detroit was in this series, it would be definitely more interesting than having Ovi's old ass playing against the fucking Rangers. I got the Rangers in 5. I think the Caps will get an OT win in game 3 or 4 at home, and then the Rangers are just going to blow them out in all the other games. This is going to be a blowout, dude. I'm not excited to watch this.
Yeah, no, this may be the most boring series of the playoffs, I'd say.
100%.
Because and yeah, I was gonna say though, like I just it's so sad though, like to go back off of what you guys were saying about the Red Wings, man, because like when the Red Wings are in the playoffs, it's just more fun to watch. You got an original six team. They're good, man. They had some odd, like they were just a gritty team from a city that is kind of in dire need, and you got the Tigers who are doing well right now, and I know McCabe, you're downer on the Tigers. I know you don't like them, but and then same with the Lions too, man. So it would have been awesome just to see that kind of happen because it's a city that's definitely got a lot of heart, got a lot of grit to it, almost kind of like Philly and Washington. Fucking Washington. It's a district, bro. What even is it? It's a district of Columbia. It's not even it's nowhere, bro. What even is
right?
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see that for sure from Detroit, but I think that even just Detroit in general for sports, I think that the next couple of years for Detroit's going to be big. Like they got a strong young team in hockey. I'm not a huge football guy, but I know that Detroit Lions team, the way they played this year, they should be an absolute powerhouse next year. I think Detroit fans finally have something to look forward to over the next couple of years. Maybe even a few champions.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, except basketball. They fucking suck in basketball. They get the first round pick every year and they still shit the bed. Like they're not good at all when it comes to basketball. But the other three sports, they're looking very good for the future. So
for sure.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one though. Let's go on to the next one. I think I have let's move on to the other Atlantic series. We got the Florida Panthers coming up against Tampa Bay Lightning. I think this will be very exciting. The Florida rivalry coming in here. They've played multiple times in the playoffs recently. I think it's been pretty close. I think they've gone 2-2 this year in the regular season. I think I got the upset. I got Tampa winning this series. I think, Tampa's been, I think kind of disrespected because Kucherov has had an incredible year. And not a lot of people are talking about anyone else on the team, right? Vasilevsky hasn't been talked about that much this year, but I think he's been quietly playing solid. I think Tampa will come out here. They obviously have experience with that team winning 2 cups in the last, what was it, 4 or 5 years, I think. Yeah. And they're a dog, man. They're a dog in the Eastern Conference. So I think they take it in 6. I think they win it at home in their last home game of the series. I think Florida is going to be a little flustered with how Tampa comes out of the gate, and I think I got Tampa winning this one.
Cool. All right, Purdy, you want to go next?
Yeah, Ryan, I agree with a couple of things you said for sure. Like I think that Tampa's definitely being overlooked right now, but I think that Florida is just the way that Florida's been moving recently, especially with the push that they made at the end of the season. I think they won 4 in a row and knocked the group out of that top spot. But I just think that Tampa's look right now is that they have Vasilevsky in the playoffs. He is stellar in the playoffs. He really turns it up. But aside from Vasilevsky and Kucherov, I just don't think that the rest of the team is really there, ready to win another championship. I think that Florida's a team that the past couple of years they've really defined themselves as a team, and with the absolute blowout of a series against Vegas, I think they're going to want to come back and absolutely tear up the playoffs. So for that reason, I have Florida taking it.
All right. I was on the fence with this one because Florida, they've been a powerhouse this year too. Like they've been insane. They've just
Mhm.
they've been at the top the entire year, for the most part. But I believe I want to say, you know what? Like they had a deep run last year as well, going to the finals. But I'm saying Lightning again. This season was kind of a down year for them, and they couldn't really find a groove necessarily, and couldn't really because they're a wild card team. They didn't make the top three in their division, and so I'm sure there's a little bit of a stain on them right there. And they lost last year to the Leafs. It's like fuck that, we're better than this. So I think they've
Right.
also got a stacked lineup, man. They've got a stacked lineup, and like honestly, Kucherov, Braden Point, who I think is so underrated too. Stamkos, who's still good, scored 40 goals this year, who's an old fuck too, but he's still good as fuck. And then like Brandon Hagel and like Nick Paul they're a good team, man. They're a good team. So I'm gonna give Tampa Bay Lightning the upper hand here. I think it'll be a close one. It might go to 7 games. I'll say it like because you know what,
Mhm.
Florida's a good team. I'm not gonna doubt that, but I'm just giving Tampa this upper hand right here. Yeah.
Respect, respect. All right, so
Sure.
now we got the Metropolitan Series, the other one. This is kind of a snoozer as well because this happened last year too. Carolina coming up against the Islanders. Two solid teams as well. But Purdy, what do you think is going on? What do you think is going to go happen here?
I think that this is going to be very similar to the Rangers Caps series. I think that it is going to
Mm,
be a very boring series. I think that I was looking at the lineups, the projected lineups for the start of the series, and aside from the Islanders' top players, it is there's really not much to work with there. They don't have the playoff level talent. They don't have those guys to look at and say, all right, this guy's gonna turn it on in the playoffs. He's gonna go dominate and he's gonna help them win a playoff series. And you look at the Canes series, or the Canes lineup, sorry, they've got some incredible players and on
hmm
have the vets. So they have the guys that have the experience and are ready to make a playoff push. They've got the goaltending and their forward lines are I was looking at the third, fourth line and they've got good
hmm
players all around and
hmm
they're also you got a couple vets and a couple great defense back there. I don't think that it's even going to be a competition. I think Canes are going
Yeah.
to sweep it.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go in I'll
hmm
say, you know what? I think Kane's easy, man. I'm not gonna spoil my finals prediction, but their team it kind of is right now, but I think they are such a fucking good team. Leafs
hmm
sucked against them, just outplayed by crazy, incredible
Oh yeah.
defense. All the games were very, very close, but they've got good defense, clutch. They are very, very clutch. Sebastian Aho is like ridiculous, man. Like he's so good.
Yeah.
Not the one on the Islanders. I was looking at players. There's Sebastian Aho on the Islanders. He
Yeah.
is horrible. So yeah, I'll say that. But yeah, no, Kane's very, very good. And then they got Gensel too, who's been okay for them. He's been pretty good, but still, like
Yeah.
they're a great team. They're up there.
Yeah. I think I agree with you both. Like this is going to be an absolute snoozer. Like the Metropolitan Division series are horrible. Like if Detroit made it, it would have been amazing. Like it would have been actually interesting. But this is going to be like 4 or 5 games. I originally had 6 games like last year because I feel like the Islanders will like sneak a couple like an overtime win, kind of like the Capitals. But like there's so like the Hurricanes team is so deep with like just gritty players. Like their fourth line, they have Jordan Martinook at center. Like on the fourth line is fucking ridiculous. Like he's such a good player. Their defense is so strong too with Orlov and Burns and Chatfield and Tony DeAngelo, like great players. Goaltending, obviously Freddie Anderson. You know, we know him. He's experienced. He knows how to get the job done. Yeah, it's going to be a clapping. I think Gensel, that signing at the trade deadline was amazing for them. I think he's going to be a very big part of their run that they're going to have this year, especially with his experience in Pittsburgh. He's a great goal scorer. I think he might be a sleeper for the Conn Smythe Trophy if they do get there. I think Gensel will be a very big part of this team. So yeah, give me the Hurricanes to dismantle the Islanders this year. I'll be very shocked if Carolina loses this series.
Yeah, Ryan, and to build off that a little bit, they also have they got Burns in the back, and he's just
Yeah,
beauty. You can't not love the guy. And then
yeah,
Stahl and Kuznetsov kind of filtering through those second and third lines, and Kuznetsov's the guy that won with Washington a couple years ago,
right.
and he's been all over the map this year. I think for him, looking at the playoffs a little bit, it's going to be one of those things where he's going to look at it as, all right, I got tossed around and kind of got portrayed in the media as completely fallen off and
Right.
no. I think he'll definitely have a good run in the playoffs because he's got to kind of prove himself and prove that he still can play this game and show his best abilities.
100%, man. 100%. Kuznetsov is another great signing. I forgot to mention him. He's a great player, very experienced with the Capitals winning that cup in 2018. Another reason why they'll be dominant this year. All right, so now we've not finished Eastern Conference. We're gonna leave the special series for the end, but we got for now we've got the Dallas Stars, big powerhouse in the Western Conference, who won the Western Conference title this year. They're projected to come up against the LA Kings, another team that has been talked about a lot this year, kind of like the Predators, another wild card team. So yeah, let's see your predictions. I'm gonna go first here. I think this would be closer than people think. I think Dallas and LA are both I think they're kind of evenly matched. I think LA has a great forward lineup with Kopitar, who's always been very good. Adrian Kempe, Trevor Moore, Philip Deneau, Drew Doughty, obviously just the most experienced probably defenseman in the league right now with Brett Burns, we just mentioned. I think the LA will keep up with Dallas in this series, but I think Dallas will just take it because they have so much depth in their forward and defensive pairings with Essa, Lindell, and Lundqvist in the back, with Radek Foska on the fourth line, which is just amazing. Like, he's such a great player. That no one talks about. I think it'll go 7 this series. I think it'll be shocking to see like a sweep or like an early exit for either of these teams. Yeah, I think I got the Stars though, just by the edge. I think Stars will take it in 7 or 6.
Cool. You know what? For this one, this is kind of my, I like to say, wild card pick in the sense that I think most people are thinking Dallas. I'm gonna pick the Kings for this one.
Wow.
And yeah, I know Dallas, they're good. They're good this year. But it's one of those ones where it's just gonna be like a fluke series. Like Dallas is, who knows, they don't show up because it happens like every year. It's like how the fuck did the Bruins lose to Florida last year? You know, Purdy,
Right.
how did they? How did they? That's a question. It's sad, but like, and so that's my pick for this one. It's going to be an upset for Dallas, and they're going to be fucking, shitting in their pants, and then the Kings are just going to win. That's what I think is going to happen. So
Interesting.
yeah.
And how many games do you think that's going to go to if
That's
Dallas?
a good question. I think it'll go 7. I think it'll go 7. It'll be like one of those like I think it might play out exactly like the Florida Bruins series where they're up
Or it
3.
might be like an Avalanche one, like last year. They lost to Seattle in the first round. That was very shocking. No
Yeah,
one
there you go.
expected Seattle to win that. So yeah, there's always one of those each year in the
So
Stanley Cup playoffs.
that's my pick right there.
Okay.
It's the one
All right.
wild one. It's like, what Dallas should win on paper, but it's just like something happens. Maybe they get an injury, that like fucks with them. Maybe fucking who's their star? Why am I forgetting his name?
Robertson?
Yeah, Robertson gets
Yeah.
injured or something like that. It fucks with the team. Who knows?
All right, I got the Stars winning this one for sure. I think just the way their season has played out, I feel the past few years, the Stars have kind of been consistently mediocre or they've been all right. But you see, they completely broke out this year. I mean, their forwards have been amazing. They got good players in their rookies and in their vets. I think they've definitely got a team that can make a solid push. And with a guy like Jake Ottinger at the back, like he has
Oh
just,
yeah.
oh my God, he caught fire this season. And I think that with a guy like that behind you in the playoffs, it's hard to lose, especially to a team like the Kings, where I feel like the Kings are a solid team. They're solid for a wild card team, but I just don't think that they have the tools to take down a red hot Dallas Stars team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I could see, like I said, I could see this going both ways. All right, we got the next one here. We'll stick with the Pacific Division. Actually, no, that was the Central. We'll stick with the Central Division matchup here. We got the Winnipeg Jets coming up against the Colorado Avalanche. I think this is the marquee matchup of the first round, other than Leafs Bruins. I think both these teams are absolute powerhouses in the regular season. Obviously, with McKinnon and Rantanen on the Avalanche playing out of their minds this year. Same with Winnipeg. I think Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele, all those guys on forwards. Obviously, Connor Hellebuck and net playing incredible as well. I think this will be one of the best series of the whole playoffs. I think this is going to be sad to see one of these two teams leave in the first round. That's another reason why we'll have this discussion after, but about the playoff seeding and how it's been working the past like decade. But yeah, I think this is going to be an amazing series. But I think just the Colorado's experience in the playoffs, they got knocked out in the first round last year by a rookie, unexperienced Seattle team. I think Colorado's going to come out flying. I think they'll win this in 6. I think the Winnipeg will get a couple, but just the fact that they have McKinnon, who's playing amazing, a Hart Trophy-esque season with Rantanen as well, and obviously Makar in the back end and Georgiev in net. I think Colorado has a strong chance of going far this year. So give me Colorado in 6.
Sure. I'll go, you know what? So I badly want Winnipeg to do well this year, man. Like I want them to be in the playoffs. When Canadian teams are in the playoffs, it's just good things. It's more fun to watch for me. I don't enjoy it like a Dallas versus fucking Kings play. It's just two team, it's like fucking Southern, the South, bro. It's not
Right.
hockey city. So,
Yeah.
but I want the Winnipeg Jets to win, but however, I do think Colorado just has that slight advantage. They've got some absolute killers on their team. They've got, fucking Cale Makar is like turning into one of my favorite players of all time. Like he's so much fun to watch. Same with McKinnon, obviously. That dude is like ridiculous. He's just an absolute powerhouse. So man, I'm gonna give the Avalanche the edge here, and you know what? Yeah, exactly. Like McKay, like you said, with the fucking exit they had last year against the Kraken, which is embarrassing, like to say the least. They're gonna come out and all firing on all cylinders. So give me Colorado.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I think the way that the Avalanche went out last year was absolutely embarrassing. Terrible way to go, especially against a new team like Seattle. And I feel like although the Jets do have a strong team and it'll make a great series, I think Avalanche is they are a different beast in the playoffs. They take it up about they're regular season really strong team, but they take it to the next level during playoffs, especially have a guy, especially like the back end. You got a guy like Makar who is a really strong defenseman, and then he can turn on the Jets and go play so well in the offensive zone. It's I think that the Avalanche are definitely going to be in the Western Conference, I think they will be one of the teams to beat. I think that not only are they gonna definitely take control of that series against the Jets, I think that they're gonna be the team in the Western to push through and maybe push for the cup this year.
100%, 100%. Like I wanted to mention the pickups that they got in the trade deadline with Sean Walker. I think he's a great defenseman playing with Josh Manson on the second line there. Like he's a great player. I was hoping the Leafs would pick him up at the trade deadline, but obviously Brad Treliving's a fucking idiot. So we won't make those moves for the playoffs, obviously. But yeah, Sean Walker's a great player. Like Jack Johnson is on the third line for defense, which is pretty crazy. Zach Parise, older guy, but he's got experience, right? Adding to that Colorado team. Casey Middlestat, another guy who they picked up at the deadline from Buffalo. I think he's a great addition to the forwards. Yes, I think Colorado's a great team to compete against this year. And then we're gonna move on to the Pacific Division here. We got the Canucks coming up against the Predators. We kind of discussed this a little bit earlier, but I think based off that, I think we can figure out who's going to win this matchup. But kind of like I said with the Predators and them being a dark horse, I wouldn't necessarily put them as a team to get to the finals, like the Western Conference Finals or even the Cup. But like I think they beat Vancouver like pretty convincingly. I think this will be a very big shock for NHL fans this year. This will be kind of like that Bruins against Florida shock last year. I think the Predators are going to win in 7. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout, like five, like in this like a sweep or 5 games. But I think the Vancouver will play them hard. But I think the Predators just have that experience to move on in to the Western Conference semifinal. So yeah, give me the Predators in 7. I think it will be a big shock for this year.
All right, cool. You know what? I have the same thing as you, McCabe. You know what? Like Forsberg, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Then also my boy Ryan O'Reilly, famous Osmos commercial guy. Love him. You know what? I'll say like, dude, Conn Smythe winner already. Like Ryan O'Reilly, ridiculous. Love the guy. I think he's somebody that shows up in the playoffs. He's pretty good for the Leafs last year. Very, very helpful. I'm not gonna say he wasn't at all. And so I think Predators over the Canucks. You know what? Just again, as we're talking, Canucks slowed down a little bit, and they don't have Michael Bublé to help them this year. So I think it'll be the Preds this year. Sexual predators all the way. That's not what I'm saying. Don't clip that. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I think as much as the Predators are looking like they might be a sneaky team, I just don't think Vancouver blows the opportunity that they've been given this year. There are some guys on that Vancouver roster and just put up with the constant, just being a terrible team, just being a shit team in the Western Conference. They haven't done much they haven't gotten to really prove themselves at all. So I think, especially for a couple guys that have been stuck on this roster for the past couple years through the years where they just kind of sat at the bottom of the barrel, I think like guys like Brock Besser, Elias Quinn Hughes, I think they look at this opportunity that they've been given. They finally find a playoff berth, and I think they absolutely run with it. I think I'm gonna go Canucks in 6 for this one for sure. I just with the fact that they've been absolutely tossed to the side the past couple of years, I don't think they blow the opportunity they've been given. And not to mention the fact that they got Demko at the back and a very solid goalie for them the past little while. I think he could definitely help make a push.
100%. Like both those teams are great, but I think just Predators just have that little edge. All right, we'll go to the last series before the big one. We got the Edmonton Oilers coming up against Vegas Golden Knights. The projected series so far. It could be the Kings, could be Vegas, but this is what it's looking like right now. You know what? Let's switch up the order a little bit. Let's go Purdy back to back. Who do you got?
All right. This is a tough one because I think that Vegas is a really strong team. And Edmonton, aside from a few holes in their gameplay that might need a little bit fine tuning before the playoffs start, I think that this is going to be an absolute barn burner of a series. I think not only do the Oilers have that, they've got the skill from guys like McDavid and Draisaitl, but I think that a few of the guys that they're overlooked a little bit are going to step up, because with a team like Vegas, you have to be ready to play. They've got great tenure over the last few years. I think that's the right word.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've got these guys that are constantly going into the playoffs and working their ass off and making push. And then it doesn't help that they got to go against goalies like Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson. And last year, Logan Thompson, he was absolutely phenomenal throughout the season.
Yeah.
This guy comes up from OUA hockey, ECHL, AHL, and makes his way to the NHL. That's a hardworking goalie. That's a guy you want to be playing in front of. But I think that with the tools that the Oilers have, they could do it for sure. So I've got Oilers winning that series, and I would love to see Vegas get kind of bit in the ass for the fact that they completely, they built a super abusing the law.
Yeah,
for sure,
100%.
All right, Ryan,
go ahead,
Ryan.
Go? No, you go. Let's
okay,
do it a little bit.
As I said before, I think that the Oilers are gonna. I think they're gonna do well this postseason. I think they're gonna do well. And yeah, as I said before, they've got a good lineup. They've got some good players, and I'm looking right here, right now, at their at the hockey reference. Evander Kane is just like a little player that is so undershadowed by players like McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard and like Hyman, Insane, Nugent Hopkins. They're a good team. So I mean the Golden Knights, they won last year. They haven't had any suffering basically in their entire time they've been in the NHL. Like there's nothing controversial other than the fact that they are, as Purdy said, full of superstars somehow by trading fucking everybody, and then it somehow works out for them every fucking time.
Yeah.
So like as fucking Jesse Pollock said, I remember him saying they can't keep getting away with it, and this year they're not going to get away with it. So that's what I'll say. Oilers in 6.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Like I said before, that my disappointing team is going to be the Oilers, and they will disappoint again. I think like I'm just looking at the Vegas defensive pairings right now. They have Hannafin, Nicholas Hague, McNabb, Theodore, White Cloud, and Alec Martinez. How is that even fair? How is that even fair that a team can have that much firepower on the defensive side? It's ridiculous. It's crazy how they get away with this, man. Them and the Tampa Bay a few years ago with the LTIR bullshit. But I think the Vegas is going to win in 7. I think it'll be very close the whole series. There's not going to be any blowouts. It's going to be a lot of OT games, a lot of high. It's going to be high scoring, I think, because both teams love to fucking put the puck in the net. It's going to be like 5-5, 6-5, like every fucking game. Like it's going to be so high scoring, very close, a lot of OT. But I think the Vegas just has that little bit of an edge with the experience of winning the cup and winning the cup last year, and the fact that they have so much fucking depth in their team and the goaltending, like Purdy mentioned. I think they just have that edge over the Oilers. So I think they'll win it in 7. I think Vegas will just have just that edge that I think the other teams like the Oilers don't have.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. All right, here we go. The main event.
Man, I'm nervous.
This is what all the fans have been waiting for. We have, the fourth matchup in the last decade. We have Toronto Maple Leafs going up against the Boston Bruins. The first round of the playoffs. Right. I mean, is there not anything better than that, right? There's nothing better than that, right? What do you think?
Want me to go first?
Yeah, let's do it. Ryan, go ahead. Start us off.
Leafs lose in 5. They have no
Wow.
chance. Man, we've discussed this on the pod for like the last few months. Every time they've gone up against Boston, it's been uncompetitive. They just aren't like, as much as I hate it, it tears my heart to admit this. I feel like I'm in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and my heart is just being taken out of me. It is pain for what I feel to say this, but it's the truth. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with saying the truth. The truth is good. And, I just don't see it happening, man. This team, the way they play hockey is not the way you can play in the playoffs, trying to go to OT all the time like they do, having these fucking, where you score like 7 goals and then somehow the team makes a comeback and score 7 goals against you. Our defense is not that great, and our goaltending is not as good as Boston. Boston is another team aside from last year, which was like a fluke, I would say, honestly, like because they should have
Mhm.
won. It was a very, very
Yeah.
close series. It wasn't like it
Mhm.
was a blowout in any way. They played well for the most part until there was a couple of just fucking lucky mistakes that went the other team's way.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna say that Boston has the edge. They've when was the last time? I know they won the cup recently. When was it? What year was it?
2011, 2011
2011.
the Canucks.
2011. Okay,
Yep.
that's still it's closer to 1967. So,
Right.
anyways, yeah. And what did they lost in the finals against St. Louis
Yeah,
in a
Yeah.
couple years ago. So again,
Mhm.
they have that they've won before. They won recently and they've won have been able to win and come close to winning too. Whereas the Leafs fucking it was uncompetitive against Florida last year. So, you know what? That's what I have to say. Bruins in 5, sadly.
All right, Purdy, you go ahead. The big
All
Bruins
right.
fan. Here's his opinion. Here you go.
Before, I had a quick question for you, McCabe. Was that four in the last 10 years? Was that including 2013?
Yeah.
The masterful 4-1.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure. All
Yeah.
right, I think I'm gonna start by saying both these teams have their fair share of issues right now.
Yeah.
Uh, Obviously, the Leafs are just their goaltending. As much as Samsonov has kind of picked it up recently, Ryan, I think I was saying to you, or McCabe, I think I was saying to you a couple weeks ago, I think that with the way, or maybe it was last week actually, I think that with the way that Samsonov has played in his last few games, I think that is all right, playoffs are coming. He is nervous. And I mean, you've seen it in the way he's performed in his last couple
Mhm.
games. Had a .70 save percentage against the Devils, and he made 14 saves on 20 shots. And then
Yeah.
he goes against Detroit, who I'll give it to Detroit. The way they played at the end of the season, they were ready to. They wanted everything. They wanted that playoff spot, and they were ready to die for it. And he had a
Mhm.
.84 save percentage against them, and I just don't think that's good enough as a team. You got to look at it and think if your goalies are that's the backbone of the playoffs, right? That's you either win a game 3-1, 2-1, or you lose a game 5-3 or 5-2, right?
Mhm.
It's the do or die factor there. But I will say that the Bruins are just, especially in the last couple games, they're so inconsistent with how they get the puck to the net and almost too reliant. I've seen it over the season. They're almost too reliant on Swayman and Allmark. And like you love to have the reliability of two goalies, but at the same time, it's like at some point you got to step up and just have a couple games in a row where you just bury the puck and goalie sees maybe 20, 25 shots and you prove that you can be more than a team that is just based on their goalies. But
Mhm.
with that being said, I'm absolutely going to take the Bruins. I just think that with the way the season has panned out, from being a team that was supposed to be the rebuild this year, and I think that after the way they started again this year, very similar to last year,
Yeah.
I think Bruins are ready to, first of all, stamp the Leafs again, like they have the past 10 years. But I think they're also ready to prove that that Florida loss was it was a fluke, wasn't meant to happen, and that I think if the Bruins take a 3-1 series lead this year, they're not giving it up. So I'm going to take Bruins in 6. I'll give the Leafs 2 wins.
Okay. Yeah, I'm you know what? It's like I've been a fan my whole life, and seeing this matchup once again just gives me crippling depression. And it was Tuesday night they found out that they were playing Boston. The drive back home from the bar, it was not a fun night. So I think I'm gonna have to go with you guys. No, I'm not. No, I'm fucking not. We're going Leafs in 7, baby. Turn me up. Matthews is scoring 10 goals this fucking series. You already fucking know. Fuck the Boston Bruins. Fuck you, Purdy. We're going Leafs in 7, baby. We're breaking the fucking curse, just like we broke it last year with fucking Tampa. We're making the fucking Stanley Cup final. I don't know what you guys are fucking talking about. Leafs suck. Goalies suck. No. Fuck this shit. Leafs in 7, baby. Turn me up. Let's go.
Right. We're gonna have to watch a couple games together because I think
100%. 100%. Leafs in 7, baby. Leafs in 7. I don't know what you guys are fucking talking about, this Leafs team.
Ryan, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
This fucking Leafs team.
All the past episodes, you have been like, oh, I don't know how this playoffs are gonna go. Oh, it's not gonna be good. Where did this come from? Where did this confidence come from?
That was all bullshit. That was all bullshit. Full confidence in my fucking team. I don't give a shit.
All right, fine.
Here.
No,
it's
want
our
nothing
fucking
more
time.
than to win.
I've said it for 20 years. This is our fucking time, baby. Turn me up. Look who's on the back, baby. The best Leaf performer in the playoffs, William fucking Nylander. Let's go. Leafs in 7.
All right.
Let's go.
You know what? I want nothing more than that. But will it happen? Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
It is gonna fucking happen.
All of this really means nothing until we actually see some playoff games, and that's what matters. So, you know what? I think that what do we have next, Ryan? What do we have next?
So we have the Stanley Cup final matchup.
Okay.
Like I said, Leafs are making the Stanley Cup final. I think this is the fucking year, boys. I think this is the fucking year. We're making the Stanley Cup finals. We're going to be playing Dallas, okay? Dallas against the Leafs, Stanley Cup final, but the Leafs are not going to win the cup. They're going to make it to the final, but they're not going to win the cup. Dallas is going to win in 6 games.
I love that.
Dallas,
I absolutely
they're not
love that,
they're not going to win the cup, but they'll make it there. They'll make it there. We progressed last year. We made it past the first round for the first time in 20 years. The boys are ready to fucking play, but they're not going to make the final.
You know what? Right? Yeah, I'm gonna get you a shirt like that shirt of Barack Obama that says hope. I'm gonna put fucking Austin Matthews on it for you. That's what I'm
Perfect. Perfect.
All right. If they, you know what? Fuck yeah, brother. I love Leafs making the finals. That's some positivity.
This is like positivity. This is like you was saying the Jays are gonna make the World Series. You were predicting. You were like Jays in the World Series, man.
No, I'm not. I want it to happen. I want it to happen.
Of course you do. I know Purdy's just fucking laughing his ass off because he knows this shit's not gonna happen. But
this guy,
I gotta believe, man. I gotta believe, dude.
He's seeing a couple they're gonna make the final. Fucking Toronto fans right now is what he's seeing.
I think the Leafs are making the final, dude. They're making the final. They're gonna play Dallas. Dallas has been playing great. I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it the whole way. I think Dallas and Toronto in the final. It's going to be a great series, but I think Dallas wins in 6. I think Dallas is going to take it in the final. My Conn Smythe Trophy winner, I'm just going to go off the bat and say I think Jake Oettinger is going to be a fucking stud in the playoffs, dude. Jake Oettinger is going to be a stud. He was on my hockey fantasy team this year. Didn't let me down at all. I think Oettinger, all the way, he's winning the Conn Smythe this year. First goalie to win the Conn Smythe since, was it Vasilevsky? Against the Canadians, yeah. Give me Oettinger to win the Conn Smythe this year, and the Stars to win the cup.
All right, Cool. Purdy, you go next.
Can I make a quick comment on Ryan's
Absolutely. Go
Go
right
ahead. Go
So,
ahead.
Ryan, if by some miracle the Leafs
Miracle?
by
What are
some
you talking about?
Miracle on
Not-
ice, bro.
USA miracle, if by some
Oh my God.
Bruins, they're gonna face the Panthers, and the Panthers, just like last year, we want Florida. The Panthers are gonna kill the Leafs, and if by some miracle that the Panthers don't kill the Leafs, I think that the Rangers are going to absolutely run through the Leafs, and that leads me to my Eastern Conference team is absolutely the Rangers. They are. I just think with the way they've played this season and the players they have, I think they have all the tools to win this to make the finals, right? And I think that on the other side, it's going to be the Avalanche because although the Avalanche weren't they weren't a top performing team in the Western, I still think they were high up there, and they just kick it into another gear. Like I was saying earlier, in the playoffs, the Avalanche they just turn into absolute beasts. They leave behind any dust that was shown in the play or in the regular season, and they absolutely hammer at it. They are absolutely merciless. They just, I think that they the way they play in the playoffs will be something to be. I don't think they'll be taken down except for in the finals. I think the Rangers are taking the cup this year, and by Conn Smythe, I'm thinking either Artemi Panarin or Fox.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
No,
No,
those are good choices.
Too bad the Rangers are going to be in there because the fucking Leafs are making the final. But yeah, that's all right. That's an all right prediction.
Hockey motherfucker. Oh my God. For me, mine's not as controversial or interesting. I'd say, you know what? I think Predators uh versus the Hurricanes, and Hurricanes taking it home.
Ooh.
It's gonna be one of those, fucking like the most boring fucking series finals, like Florida versus Vegas. Like fucking who gives a shit at that point? The most like two most boring teams in the world. Fucking nobody in their states care about hockey whatsoever. But Carolina, man, you know what? I'm putting money on them, like legitimately
Yeah.
putting, because I think after last year they did okay. They got swept by Florida in the Eastern Conference Finals, but I think they're gonna be. I think they'll make that move forward and kill the Predators, because Predators they might be kind of the St. Louis Blues little underdogs, like with Ryan O'Reilly, who's I think, man, like love that. He's just such a dog, though. He's such a dog, so I love him. But yeah, Hurricanes, and then my boy Sebastian Aho will fucking win the Conn Smythe trophy. So there you go.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I like that. I like that prediction, but also too bad for the Hurricanes because you know who's going to be in the final. It's the fucking Toronto Maple Leafs, baby. They're winning in 7 against Boston. Who gives a shit who they're playing against, Tampa or fucking the Panthers? Who gives a shit? They're running through all of them.
Yep.
All right, guys. They're running through all of them. Fuck what I said in the past podcasts. It's the fucking year right here. It's the year.
Fair enough. All right.
Okay, but at least we can tell you're a true Leafs fan the way you
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup delusion is there, but at least you're a diehard.
At least I didn't say they won. I'm just saying they're making the cup final. I'm not saying they're going to be blowing out everybody, but I'm being. I wouldn't say realistic. Actually, I am being realistic. What am I talking about? I am being realistic. This is the fucking Leafs we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm being semi-realistic because if I was being, delusional, I would be saying they're winning the cup. But I'm kind of being semi-realistic with them saying they'll make it, but they won't win it. So
what does Johnny say? What does he think?
Yeah, what is John?
I think, Johnny, Purdy obviously knows Johnny. He's a mutual friend of Johnny, but I think he said Dallas and Carolina. I think that was his
Oh man,
prediction.
smart guy.
Yeah.
I think on the Eastern side, Ryan, I think whoever wins between Canes and Rangers, I think that'll be the Stanley Cup champion. I think the Western definitely powerhouses. You have the Stars, you have the Avalanche, but I just think that the way the Canes and the Rangers have both played this year, that'll be an awesome series to watch.
100%. 100%.
That will be. And New York's a good and fucking obviously other sports are fun to watch. No matter what. Like Rangers original six team, they've got an awesome, group of fans. I guess you say you got some fucking celebrities who do not give a shit always going to their games, but like for the most part, the Rangers they're fun team to watch. And you don't hate them like the Yankees. Like fuck the Yankees, actually. No, even just talking about them gets me mad. But yeah. Anyway.
Should I bring it out, Ryan? Should I bring up the hat?
No, don't. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. Like, yeah, you think you're so fucking clever wearing your fucking New York Yankees hat. You know what I say. You know what I say about people who wear Yankees hats. Not gonna say it here again, but yeah. Anyway,
I think to build off the Rangers a little bit, the one thing I was really looking at was the fact that they have a little bit of extra grit on their team, right? They have Jacob Trouba, who not only is Trouba a gritty player, but he scores goals. He can help produce for the team. Then you have a guy like Goodrow, and then did you see Keandre Miller, the way he in that New Jersey game? But why wouldn't you love to play with a guy like that? Like you got named off four really gritty players that when you're in the final game and you need a big hit for momentum, or you need a play that kind of shows that you want to be there with the other team, I think that the Rangers have it. And then on top of that, I would love to see Jonathan Quick get a Stanley Cup for sure, right? He's he needs one. He needs one. One before he needs one in his later years before he retires, for sure.
Yeah. Obviously a great goalie, one of the greats, honestly. I love Jonathan Quick. He's one of the more exciting players of our generation, 100%. Sure. But yeah, like I was saying, you were talking about the Rangers and the grit that they have. Like, what's that young guy, Matt Rempe? I don't know if he's going to be in the lineup for the playoffs, but he's obviously shown that to the big dogs of, Ryan Reeves and who did he fight on Philadelphia? Was it Delorier? Delorier on the Flyers. He fought in that that Heritage Classic game, or the Stadium Series, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, he's been fighting the big dogs of the NHL, and I think Rempe is a great example of what Keandre Miller and the other guys are like on that team. With that line brawl at the beginning of the Devils game, which was fucking awesome. I think that's what makes hockey such a special sport, and I hope that continues in the playoffs with all the fighting and physicalness that comes with playoff hockey.
Yeah, that's what you're getting me hyped right now, man. Just getting me fired up for playoff hockey. This Saturday, it starts for the Leafs, man. That's going to be an exciting game to watch. Who do you think's they're obviously going to start Samsonov first game, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And he's going to get a shutout in his first game. That's right. He's going to get a fucking shutout in his first game. After that shitty Devils game, he's coming right back. He's getting a shutout against that shitty Boston offense. Let's go.
I don't think so. You got guys like David Pastrnak. There's no way Pastrnak doesn't pot one in the first game. And then I think the Bruins definitely take game one. I think I'm interested to see who gets the start there, though, because Swayman and Allmark are both very good. Whereas as much as you hate to say it, I don't think the Leafs, like, Samsonov's solid, but I don't think Wall is there in terms of being playoff ready.
No.
I think he's it's nice to see that the Leafs do have some good goaltending, or decent goaltending this year. It's something that, in previous years they haven't always had to work with. But I don't think Wall is ready for the start game one for sure, especially against the Bruins team, because that is going to be an absolute. It's a playoff rivalry, right? You can't you can't throw an unprepared goaltender into a playoff rivalry. You got to have a guy
No.
that's ready to fight for his team. And yeah, I think that'll be the most exciting series to watch, though. Bruins and Leafs, and I think Florida Tampa will also be a great
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Edmonton, any Canadian, like Winnipeg. What was the Winnipeg and
Colorado.
That'll be good too.
That'll be great too.
Yeah.
I'll be heavily invested in all those.
Yeah.
100%. All right. I think that wraps it up for the NHL talk. Great discussion with you, Purdy. I'm glad to have you on the pod for this week. Great addition to the discussion. Obviously, a good luck to for the next couple weeks when our teams battle it out in the playoffs. I think it would be a great series.
This will be sick, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to be on the pod. You've been wanting it to be on here, and you've been great addition. So
It's been
a little
electric.
round of applause here for
I'll add
Purdy.
that. I'll add the applause sound effect after.
Yeah. 100%.
Appreciate you guys having me out. It was awesome. I look forward to seeing how everyone's predictions go. And Ryan, I'll reach out to you in about a week and a half when the Bruins win, and I'll get you some Kleenex or something. We'll figure it out. I might even buy you a Bruins hat just here for a winning team.
Right. All right, pal.
Thanks for having me on. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks, Birds. See you later, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure.
All right. That was our boy fucking Nolan Purdy. Yes.
Yeah.
Man,
a lot of fun having him, man. He's a big hockey guy, man. He loves hockey. He plays rep hockey. He's a goalie, actually. I've seen him play. I think I've seen him play once. I'm not entirely sure, but he's a great goalie. Great player, great guy. Obviously, as you can tell, he loves the game. So I'm glad that he got to express his opinions about the playoffs, and a great discussion. But now let's move on to a different sport. Let's move on to the Jays.
Let's talk about some Blue Jays.
Personally, can I just do a little discussion here?
Let's hear it.
I've liked this week and a half that we watched. I thought it was a great, very successful week for the Jays. I think the series against Houston and the Yankees, when they were on that away, they were fucking brutal, man. Like, the pitching was not there, the hitting was not there. But as soon as they've come back home to the new stadium, the renovated stadium, I think they've just had there's that buzz in the air, right? I think they're very, they've kind of rejuvenated after that away stand at the beginning of the year. I think especially that Yankee series just recently, I think they heard all the hate from the Yankee fans and all the Yankees media saying, "Oh, how Vladdy's shushing the fans when he's losing," even though that's his regular home run celebration. To his home fans, he does that shit. And they always got to take offense. These fucking Yankee fans, they always got to say some stupid shit just so that makes them feel good.
Dude.
I made sure that I didn't make sure. I think the Jays made sure that they were a part of this division too, and it's not just the Yankees and the Orioles that are taking over. I think like the Jays are still a part of this playoff race, even though I'm not even talking about playoffs. Why am I talking about playoffs? It's way too early. It's way too early. But I'm just thinking like lease wise, because it's only this is 162 games, and usually I think 20 games in, then maybe you're kind of thinking about if they're actually going to have a chance. But it's way too early to talk about playoffs. But I think the Jays have kind of cemented that. They've gone even with the Yankees this year, and I think that's great. I think it's been a great week and a half so far. Obviously, you're the big baseball guy, so you can give more in depth look into this. But what were your thoughts about the past couple series?
Don't look now. Jays have won 3 series in a row, so I'm not gonna be mad at that. I'm not gonna be disappointed. For sure, I'm still stinging from the loss of yesterday, where they could have won. And you know what? There's a lot of Blue Jays fans that are fucking greedy, and they want to sweep the Yankees, and I would too. I want nothing more for the Jays to sweep the Yankees, but man, you can't ask for everything. You can't be disappointed with 3 series wins in a row against 2 teams that are pretty good. Rockies suck, but like you win a series against the Mariners and you win a series
Hmm.
against the Yankees. And you know what? Being able to have that kind of advantage right now, early, especially against teams like Mariners, whereas last year, like, you know what, a game, winning the season series against a team is important because say you're in a tiebreaker situation, it's whoever won the season series makes the playoffs. So,
Hmm.
having these wins against the advantage against these teams early, and right now we're tied with the Yankees, and we don't play them for a while now. It's
Hmm.
it's good, man, because they're a powerhouse. They're really good. They got Soto. Judge is so bad. He's so bad right now.
Yeah,
He has been
yeah.
terrible. But
Other than that double he had at the end of the last game,
dude, that
he
was, you
was
know
playing
what?
like shit.
He barely, that was like the slowest hit ball. He just barely got it in
Yeah.
the line. It was luck. You know what? That's just what happened. It's too bad that Swanson, and we could talk about that game right now because that was a big thing on Twitter, was like the fact that why the fuck was Swanson in there? And I
Hmm.
heard on another podcast, I'm going to mention their name, Gate 14, they were talking about this.
Hmm.
And I heard something interesting, and they were saying, like, you know what? Maybe it was too early for them to bring up Swanson and Romano because they looked a little bit shaky. But I kind of say to that, I agree with that to a certain level, but same time, man, like their first start, it's gonna be shaky. They have or
Hmm.
their first time in the pen coming out, it's gonna be nerve wracking for sure. So you know what? It's too bad. His there, Swanson did not look good, but yeah, I'm gonna be a positive Jays fan. You're gonna have these games. You're just gonna have these games where
Yeah.
you fucking blow them. Every other team's gonna have at least one of these games where you blow a lead and you fucking it sucks. It hurts. It hurts because you're
Hmm.
just right there on the cusp of sweeping the Yankees. But it's very good to win a series. I got a chance though. I wouldn't mind uh talking about the new stadium, how it looks, the renovations.
Hmm. Of
Tell you
course. Go
right,
ahead.
yeah. So to me, it's a lot like Yankee Stadium. It's a lot of that, especially 100 level. It's all corporate now, and it feels very
Mm.
corporate. It's like the sections are like from like I'd say like 15 rows from the home plate, and then behind that, like it's very separated. It's like just have the rich first class people right here, and then back
Right.
above is like all the regular fans and that sort of shit.
Right.
So this is the one thing I don't like about it. Again, it wasn't that live. Like the home when I went to the home opener, wasn't as exciting. Wasn't as exciting.
Yeah.
It was a little tough, but I'm happy to see the Jays back at home. It's fun, man. It's fun to watch them win. So yeah, like it's weird though. How did you think their approaches were at the plate though? Like especially in the Yankees series, Rodon sucked, and then
Yeah.
Luis Hill was not good either. I think we had some good approaches. We had some good steps
Hmm.
forward. I would say.
I think I've been hating on Varsho. I
Dude,
think I've always hated on Varsho. I don't know why, but this was it yesterday? He had two homers. It was
yep,
great. He's been him and David Schneider have been competing for that left field position in the outfield, and both of them are playing outstanding. Like David
yep,
Schneider made that nice play. I can't remember what game it was. It was one of the games against the Yankees, I think, and he made that really nice play, that diving catch along the foul line. Like really great stuff. I like how these guys are competing. They're fighting, man. They're fighting for
yep,
these spots in the lineup, and that's what you want to see. You want to see all these players contributing, and then they're getting their chances to try and be in the lineup. I think Kiner Falefa has been playing really well. I like how
yeah,
he's playing because he's kind of been out of the loop for I'd say like for signings and stuff. Like people were kind of disrespecting him and Ross Atkins, making not buying him, like signing him to a contract when bigger names were out there to have instead of kind of Falefa, and he's kind of been playing well. I think he's
yeah.
been solid.
Yeah, he just adds a lot more value. Like that's the one thing.
Hmm.
Like I just remember about like I'm so happy that we don't have certain players that we had last year. on this team. Like Matt Chapman, I can't just go through another year of
Right.
watching Matt Chapman swing and miss at an
Yeah.
89-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle. I just can't deal with that. And Whit Merrifield, I can't deal with his fucking like noodle of a
Yeah.
bat. I
Yeah.
can't deal with fucking, you know what? Brandon Belt had a poor. I'm trying to wash out last year as much as
Hmm.
possible because it was a tough year. Even though they won 89 games, it's still a really frustrating year with the fact the runners in scoring position not being able to score.
Hmm.
This year, it does kind of feel like the same team. It does. They're not scoring as
Yeah.
many runs. But you know what? And like Kiermaier, man, Kiermaier has been rough. He has not been good. If you
Yeah.
take a look right now, Kiermaier is hitting 200.
That's
He's gotten his average up a
yeah.
little bit, but he's yeah, has been
You
rough.
kind of predicted that. I remember your prediction for like I wasn't overrated, but it was kind of like player who slows down a bit. This
Yeah.
year you said Kiermaier, and you that's definitely come to fruition. Like
Yeah.
he's been very like slow for his comeback since last year when he played very well.
Yeah, and like there's a couple other players that have kind of been like that, like Bo Bichette. Like it's weird, it's really weird. Like Vladdy, he's hitting 211. Bo's hitting 227. Springer hitting 219, and like Barshow hitting 218. All these guys, their averages are like not good at all. But what I've been noticing is like Vladdy, he has already him and Springer already have 14 and 13 walks. They have been walking
Hmm.
like crazy. And all I can say is let that approach stick. Do not change your approach. That's all I'm asking. You know what? Right now the average might not seem like it's high and you might be a little annoyed by that. Stick to it. Right now, you want to know who has the fifth most walks in the league? Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Hmm.
So next to, and again, the most is Soto with 18. So Soto only has three more walks than Vladdy.
Right.
And you know how good of a player Soto is. So
Soto's known for walks, right? That's his thing.
that he's like Barry Bonds walk level. Like
Right.
he's right now, Soto's ridiculous. We saw him play this week. He's been insane. So I mean, there's been some positives, there's been some negatives. Danny Jansen's back, which is great. Uh, Justin Turner has been awesome. He's just
Hmm.
been awesome. He's great with runners in scoring position. Last year we didn't have a cleanup hitter. Now we do. So
Hmm.
that's been a really good positive. So you know what? They're on an okay pace. They should be worse than they are, I feel like,
Yeah.
but they've been doing okay. So I'm happy about these Jays. But um
One person I really wanted to talk about is Jose Barrios.
oh my
We've been
God, yeah.
sending back and forth on Instagram these rankings that MLB and ESPN are making of the top pitch starters in the league, even in the
Yeah.
AL, and no one is talking about Barrios this year. No one. He hasn't had one like mid or even bad start this year. Like he's been fucking awesome, man. He's
I
been
know.
so good. Everything's working for him. That slurve is fucking money. Like he's been playing amazing. And no, everyone's talking about like who is the person you were mentioning? Walker Bueller.
Yeah.
Apparently you said that he hasn't played in 2 years or something or a year and a half.
No.
And
No.
they're still putting him you're still putting him up there in the top
As like an ace.
starters in the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he hasn't played in a year and a half. But Barrios, all of a sudden, Barrios is not even in the conversation. He's not even mentioned in
Yeah.
these rankings. And I feel like that's very disrespectful. And in the for the AL Cy Young, he's definitely the front runner.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a crazy thing to say because he's been lights out this year. He hasn't
Yeah.
had one bad outing, and he's been playing 5, 6 innings each start. Is he playing tomorrow? He's playing tomorrow against San Diego, right?
Yeah. No,
That's
it's
his. Yeah.
Y-Rod, Yariel Rodriguez.
Oh yeah. He's
So,
playing
and
tomorrow. Okay.
he had a really good outing too against the
Yeah,
not a good team in the Rockies, but still it was really good. It was really good stuff that we saw from him.
it's good
There's been
though.
a
He's
couple
playing.
other
He's playing the Rockies in his first outing, which is good. He's playing these kind of. I wouldn't say bad teams because obviously there's no like horrendous teams in the league, but some decent batters like Charlie Blackmon and
Yeah,
Chris
Charlie
Bryant,
Black,
Nolan
Ryan McMahon
Jones,
is good.
Ryan McMahon. Obviously, yeah, he's playing great. He played great in
So
that first game, that blowout they had against us. But yeah, I think Yario Rodriguez with a great first outing, coming from AAA. But yeah, Barrios, he needs to be talked about more. And I
yeah,
think it's very disrespectful that he's that he's being doubted right now
yeah.
in the
It's
rankings.
actually it's been really our starting pitching. It's a thing, man. We got really good starting pitching, and Gosman had he had a bounce back outing yesterday. He was
Hmm.
tough with the walks. He had a couple of walks, but he went 5 1/3 and or no 5 innings, 1 run. So not
Hmm.
terrible, not terrible. It
Yeah.
could have been a little bit better, but I'm not going to be greedy. But you know what? When in terms of Barrios, Bassett, Kikuchi, man, they've been fucking good. They've been really good.
Yeah.
Bassett's last 2 outings have been awesome. So can't give enough praise to Bassett for how he's been. And
Hmm.
Barrios, man, he's 3-0 right now, 25.2 winnings. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna check right now on how he's doing in who's leading in innings pitch. So it's Glasnow, who's Glasnow's been
Yeah,
fucking
he's playing
ridiculous.
great. He's playing really well. Very
And
well.
then Barrios right now is 6 with innings pitched. My boy Michael King too, the sleeper pick.
Yeah.
Remember him? Been
Yeah.
fucking electric, bro. Somebody
Yeah.
knows about baseball. Somebody knows their baseball. Maybe Johnny shouldn't be fucking clowning on me so much for my World Series prediction because yeah. But
Yeah.
Barrios has been awesome. And then so in Glasnow, so I'll talk about strikeouts too right now. First in strikeouts right now is Glasnow. And
Mm.
then a player who has 5 less strikeouts, Yusei Kikuchi. Yusei
Oh,
has been very, very good with the strikeouts. He had a 9 strikeout game, his last outing against the Yankees, man. So Yankees aren't
yeah.
a good team, man. They're overrated. I'll say it. I don't care. They're good right now, bro. Fucking Judge is hitting 188. Stanton
Yeah.
is a fucking poo poo head. Like he sucks. It's all you got is fucking Volpe, Cabrera, and Soto, who have been good
Did
for
you
you.
see did you see Stanton rounding third that one game this series? He was
He should have
rounding
been. I don't
third.
know how
He
he
was
was not out, bro.
jogging, bro. There's no way that's how fast he can run.
No,
He's
that is
definitely
that
running
is him
fast.
going full speed. That is
Wow.
that is him going full
That's
speed.
wild, man. Do you think with he looks like he's athletic enough to run around the bases fast enough? That guy, he's jogging, dude. He's jogging.
I know.
Ridiculous. It's
Trust me.
so funny though.
Yeah. No,
Like
trust
he's
me.
just jogging. He didn't even get thrown out because I don't know who was at the plate, but Kirk just fucking fumbled the ball or some shit. Maybe it was a shitty throw by someone, but yeah, it was funny. You
No,
see
man.
multiple videos. It's hilarious
The
of him
only
jogging.
the only thing about the Yankees, they've just got it. They just have good pitching. Like that's who
Yeah.
they are. They've got very good pitching. But like, Austin Wells hitting 97, Rizzo hitting 240, Glaber hitting 208,
Mm.
Verdugo hitting 240, Judge hitting 183, Stanton hitting 250. Surprisingly, Stan's a little bit better than what I thought he would
That'll
be.
go down though. That'll go down. Don't worry. That's gonna go down.
Trevino 233. Trent Grisham 0 0.
Has he even played
It's
a game?
yeah, he's played. He's not good.
Oh, okay.
He has not been good. He's probably I could
He
see
was
him getting
supposed to be a big
DFA
prospect. He was supposed to be a big prospect for
back
the
in like
Padres.
that. No, he was with Milwaukee first. He was okay.
Oh, okay.
He was but he's not. Yeah, he's rough, man. He's been rough.
If we're just going around the MLB real quick, how about our NL MVP prediction, Mr. Mookie Betts? He has been lighting it up. We've I know a
Two
little bit about
three
baseball as well.
sixty nine with 6 home runs. My God, this guy is ridiculous.
He
Yeah,
is unbelievable. Fucking Mookie.
he is star level. He's leading the league in walks, leading the league in hits, leading the league in runs, leading the league in OPS plus, touch bases. I think he's got to be second in slugging. He's got to be second in batting average. He is everything
Yeah, he's
that this
playing
team.
unreal, man.
Yeah,
Unreal.
they're a ridiculous team. The Dodgers.
OPS of 1.1. leading the league as well. Fucking ridiculous, man. He's playing
I
so
know.
well right now. Most obviously the most played appearances because the fucking Dodgers
But he's the
have
number one
the
guy,
most
and
insane offense in the league. So he's obviously he's batting leadoff, right? He's batting
yep.
leadoff for them. Yeah. So
And
there you
Shohei
go.
is ridiculous too. Shohei's hitting 360 right now, 4 home runs. Teoscar's been good. Um, who else? Max Muncy. Max Muncy's been not bad, 257.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman, 276. Freddie Freeman
Yeah.
actually has been,
No one's talking about him, but he's playing fucking great. That's how
yeah,
that's how stacked they are, man. Yeah, no one's talking about the MVP, the MVP winner 4 years ago.
yeah.
And
Will Smith.
it's ridiculous how much power they have.
Will Smith is hitting 348. Yeah. But
What?
yeah.
No way.
Hey, but you want to know
Wow.
what's funny about them? They've lost their last 4 series, I'm pretty sure. Let me see here. Minnesota,
Yeah,
they lost.
they lost to the Nationals, no? That series to the
They
Nationals.
won a series against. They lost a series to Padres,
Yep.
and they lost a series to Nationals, and then they lost a
Yeah, they're
series to
12-9,
Chicago.
dude. They're not like
It's not
taking over.
insane. Yeah,
I
they've
don't think
lost.
anyone's really taken over
No, man.
like with the record other
If
than
you, yeah, no.
maybe the Braves.
All right,
Maybe
let's
the
see here.
Braves because they're kind of what they're
They're
like 10
12
and
and
5
5.
right now.
They're
12 and
12 and
5, yeah. So that's probably the best record. That's the best record right now in the league,
and
I
then
think.
and then
The
Milwaukee's 11 and
Guardians, the
6.
Guardians are up there. The Guardians are 13-6, I think. They're playing well.
Yeah, no, Yankees are 13-6, Guardians are 12 and 6. Rangers are 10 and 9, which are the same record as the Jays. Right now, Jays are
Yeah.
tied for third in the AL East. Boston
Mhm.
and Tampa are all 10 and 9.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
both West divisions are not like they're not showing anyone
no,
like the
it's
Astros. How about the Astros, man? 6-14. It's crazy.
that is rough.
They're not showing up at all right now,
Yeah.
which is very
Anyway,
shocking.
yeah, man, we are at an hour and 42 right now. This is a long
Wow.
episode. Obviously, there's been some technical difficulties that add to that, but I think this is a
Hmm.
good place to end it off. Jays are, let's see who they're playing next. They're playing the Padres next in a 3-game series. So
Hmm.
tomorrow they face a knuckleballer, and I think
Oh boy,
his
Matt
name,
Waldron.
Matt
Oh
Waldron.
my
Yeah,
God. In MLB The Show, he's the most annoying fucking pitcher.
yeah.
And the thing is, I'm trying to get him, like, to play with him, but like, you cannot buy him on the market. Like, he's just because whoever gets him, they just fucking keep him because he's the most OP fucking. He's a bronze, like he's 72 rated. But the fact that he is a knuckleball, he's the only knuckleball pitcher in the game. No one can fucking hit off him. It's ridiculous, the
Hmm.
knuckleball. But yeah,
So
I think Vladdy hits 2 bombs this series. I think he's gonna. He loves that left field porch, that short left field porch in San Diego. That's calling to him. I think Vladdy hits a
exactly. No,
couple.
left field's easy right there. But
Yeah,
we've got we
the
gotta face
Royals.
Tatis, man. Like that dude is fucking ridiculous. Tatis.
Yep, that's my
So
boy.
yeah, this will be they're a good team. They are a very good team. They've got some
Hmm.
really good players like who are playing like out of their
Xander
shoes. Like
Bogarts.
Bogey actually hasn't been that good, but Jerkison Profar has been good. He's in
Yep.
299. Jackson Morrell, Tatis has been insane. He's already hit 5 home
Yeah.
runs. Luis Campusano, who's been okay. He's been pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, but they're a good team. I don't think they're not a
Yeah.
team to bat an eye at. And so I think
Yeah.
we're going to be facing Matt Waldron and then Joe Musgrove for sure. Musgrove hasn't
Okay.
been great, but we don't know about the Jose Brios. So we've got Yariel,
Okay.
Jose, and Chris Bassett. My
I
prediction:
feel confident. I think we get two out
two
of
and
three at
one,
least.
two
Yeah.
and one, two and
Yeah.
one, two and
Two out
one.
of three at least. I feel very confident. Going on the road, we had that confidence at home. We're going to bring that with us on this road trip.
Good pitching, yeah.
I'm very confident that the Jays will do well against the Padres.
Let's hope. Let's hope. All right.
And then
Yeah.
oh yes, we also have announcements. We had a couple of discussions over the
Yep.
last week because we had a late podcast this week due to obviously the playoffs and because they don't start till Saturday, so we wanted to make sure that we have the series predicted right away so that we have that out for you guys. So we're not, we're not behind things or way too ahead of things, right? So now that we've figured this out, we're now going to do 2 podcasts each week. So we're going to have one out for you guys on Tuesday every week, like usual, that we've had for the last since the beginning. We're gonna have a Tuesday and now a Friday. So just to make sure that we're on top of things, because the Jays, we feel like they play basically every day of the week. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that we're, on top of discussions of what's going on in each game and go deeper into, how's each player playing, how the starters, the relievers. Want to make sure that we're getting as much detail as possible when it comes to Jay's discussion moving forward. So we're going to go with Tuesday and Friday podcasts heading for the future. So I'm very excited about that. I hope you guys are. It's going to be great.
Yeah, more content to come. That's all it is, man. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll definitely be a lot more. So we're gonna be keeping up to date with those big dogs out there. So those other big podcasts that are
Mm-hmm.
that tend to do two a week because again, yeah, as Ryan said, Jays play a lot. So it's good to keep up and we
Mm-hmm.
got playoffs coming. So I'm gonna try and keep up with that as well. Because we don't
Yeah.
imagine like there's some big fucking crazy game and like it happened the Monday we posted a podcast and we weren't able to talk about it.
And then we have to
Annoying.
wait till the next week to talk about it, right? Especially
Yeah.
with like the NHL playoffs too. We can have more discussions about the different series that we're watching, especially the Leafs too, because we don't want to be making a podcast, right? Especially in the playoffs. The series starts on Saturday, and then we're discussing game 2 when the Leafs or Bruins could be out by then, right? So we
Yeah.
want to make sure that we're on top of these and getting those discussions out right after the games are taking place. So we want to make sure we're getting the best content for you guys and keep moving forward. So exciting times for the program. Definitely more special guests coming up too, like Purdy, who is a great addition to the podcast today. We're going to get more guys coming in discussing the Leafs playoffs and definitely the Jays as well. So I'm very excited about that. You guys should be excited about that too, obviously, because it's more exciting stuff coming up. So
all right, sounds good. All right, that ends it off for today's probably the longest episode we've ever recorded. Cheers, everyone. Make sure YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, all the things, all the fixins, all Twitter, Instagram, we're on it. So find us at anywhere on social media. We'll be there. Cheers, and we'll see you next Monday, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Take care, guys.
Where is the